Yeah.
What up? What up? What up? It's your boy Brick City's finest, JD Williams and Dave, right here on another No Country with JD and Dave. What's good with you, Brody?
Ain't much, man. Chilling on it. How you?
You
How
know,
you doing? Have you liked? Have you subscribed? Should you do so now? I think so, yes.
yeah. Make sure y'all hit all the clickety clicks, smashity smash, subscribe, do all that stuff. And without further ado, we're gonna get right on into what we here to talk about today, which is She-Hulk, episode
Strokey.
3. Uh, we talked about the other ones, obviously.
Right,
Let's jump.
right, right.
Let's jump it right on off. Now, I want to say first up off the bat that to me, number one, this was the it felt better when it
Yeah,
started off this time, and I mean, I talked about we talked about the other two episodes. I gave my opinion on these, but this one to me was the best episode so far, if I can say that.
I agree. I 100%
So,
agree. I think part of it was in due to
oh,
the.
why you playing that? Why
I
you
knew
doing
that
it,
was
man?
going
We
to
just
do.
said something positive about it, and you messing it up, man. Stop. Get them out of here.
Yo, that was dumb, man. That was the appropriate amount of dumb, and that was the hardest I laughed in the whole series. Shouts to them. It was supposed to be goofy, and they committed to it. And that's what I kind of look for from my comedy. I agree. This was probably the best episode. That's why I hit the we trying to get there because we that's progress. We getting forward, and
Well,
I was a
okay.
little
I still
and
haven't. I still haven't laughed yet. I still haven't laughed yet.
I laughed. I laughed not like ha 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 ha, ha, but I laughed. I've laughed more progressively as each one has gone along, but I'm still not laughing the way I should be. So that's still a That's still a down for me. That's still a con for me.
I noticed I just was doing a lot. I've been doing a lot of. I did less face palms this episode.
Son. No,
That's
I
it.
have you in my head because at one point when they were showing like the little comments on YouTube on the video, I was like, here they go. But
Yeah.
I was able to move on with it because
So,
again, I expect it because of the
right.
type of show it is.
So,
But
well, like we said, it started off better. This episode, no matter where you at, where it was, I think it felt like it started off better. The
yeah,
flow and the opening flow was a little was much better actually to me. As far as the setup and everything was going on. Um, before the credits came on, when they did the prologue, the setup, that
mhm,
little exposition
mhm,
right
mhm,
there.
yeah,
I'm gonna say this. And I gotta say this overall about just the character of Jennifer Walters, because Tatiana Maslany's killing it. But the
yes.
character, she's a douche. She's such a douche, bro. Like, why did she
I
gotta
think
be
she
so
was
mean, bro? Like, she just, yeah.
was
So
mean. Like, see, like you say mean, but I'm like, I don't know. I kind of read the character as, you know, being what kind of cutthroat that somebody in a male oriented dominated industry feels like they would have to be. And maybe that's not their nature, but I understand the genesis of those character choices just because, you know, if you're a corporate lawyer, if you're a lawyer at that level, then you kind of got to be more harder edge. So, but I mean, at the
she
end of
don't
the
even
day, it's
act
like,
like that. She don't even
yeah,
act like
yeah,
that. She
yeah,
just say shit like sometimes. Like I
yeah,
wish I
yeah.
could remember what the line was right before the credits. She her attorney at law, and I'm talking about that specifically because I was like, damn, she just threw that out there for no reason. Like
I
that's why
forgot.
people not liking you because they got you saying stuff just like that. It was feeling good. You was doing fine, and then something she said right before I was like, all right, well, she just all right, whatever. So
Yeah.
anyway, on with the show. She's into the new law firm now.
Hmm.
They tell her that she has to take a case, which she took. Which they
Right.
last episode they found out that Abomination left his cell, uh,
Yeah.
and so she has to try to get Abomination Emil Blonsky parole clearance, but she still has to get over that. So she ended up in the office talking. Now, this is what I will say has become the funniest part of the whole the whole show to me. This is what's funny to me. The
Mhm.
CGI. Now, I said that the more I watch it, I felt like my eyes was gonna adjust. And
Yeah.
now it's just like I ain't even mad or bothered by it no more. It just looks funny. Like when she walked into the office, the way or walking down the hallway, the way she glides and the way the and it's just and this was the first episode I saw that I really saw Fiona from Shrek. That's the first time that made me laugh. I swear it was when they was walking down the hallway and the way they had her face, like right there, I was like, yo, I swear if they just changed like hair color, she Fiona.
That's funny.
So the CGI really had me cracking up, but I'm past it. It's just that's the funniest part to me right now. I really feel like I seriously think next week I'm going to laugh out loud at the CGI.
I think the CGI is like, I have lowered expectation. Like I'm not expecting a lot because like at the end of the day, you're making like this like Tatiana gotta be 5', 5'1" at best. You're making somebody really small look like a really tall, ripped chick. And that part of it is funny as hell to me anyway. And then she's got that kind of face that don't really conform to normal, just like symmetrical, you gotta program it for her mouth. You can't just make it just look like any kind of mouth and shit. Like, Mark Ruffalo kind of gets away with it. She can't. But the CGI it's like for the complaints about it, I'm like, at what point did you think we were going to be able to get a true Hulk / She-Hulk thing without it? You know what I'm saying? Like even if it's not the best ever, it's like, man, listen, we gotta go with what we can get. And I think there is a charm in it being a little off center, a little bugged out. But overall,
yeah.
yeah.
So it was a couple of it was a couple of like little obviously Easter eggs and other jabs that was in there too. When she was walking, the reporters that was outside of the jail. Did you notice?
Yeah.
One of them was a Wendy Williams lookalike.
Yeah. They had all the details and all of the TMZs.
The hair, definitely. Wendy Williams lookalike. And that reporter asked her about, we heard you got your powers from a botched mafia hit. Is that true? And Jennifer was like, what? So that was her, original origin about how she did get.
That was
yeah. So that was kind of dope. At this
point,
that's
the shit. That's what they do. See, Marvel, the MCU shit, not to cut you off, is just like they know they're not going to do the exact shit, but they'll give you the little bones and just throwing you that stuff like that. And it's like, I'm like, can't be so mad at it. That's me.
Yeah, but they're not doing it right, bro. It's like
they always do it right.
Like, let's say it's Shield, right? Let's take Agents of Shield, right? They'll do something, or like let's even say it's like you with a bar, like every couple of bars I have to rhyme a word. Yeah. So it's like with this, it's like they just not hitting that. It's like they'll throw something and it's like they'll throw something in that out of nowhere that don't even match up. And then they'll never reference again. It's like you can tell when people just doing references without linking them together, and it's just.
So here's an interesting concept for another episode. How closely does a movie or a TV show have to stick to the source material for it to be fire? And bring up examples like Daredevil, like The Dark Knight, like the better X-Men movies, like. Because these are things that have done the same thing. They've bastardized pieces from other source material and smashed them together and made some classic. But I don't want to go too much off into that. I'm just saying that's something.
Right, we could get into that later. We could do that later. I definitely could do it for this because it's really easy. For
I'm just saying that's a conversation that we had for just entertainment purposes.
She's working, doing a job. She gets Abomination his parole. I want to give a shout out. Benedict Wong came through as Wong.
That's my dude.
I think he did an excellent job with what he was given, definitely. And he actually, like I said, he got the smirk because he was keeping it. He had his character the way he had it. It wasn't, he didn't. I don't know. Maybe they just let him do his thing. You know
I
what I'm
think
saying?
Wong is like low key my favorite MCU character.
Mm,
I'm always here for Wong, bro. Every time he come on, I'm like, yeah, there you go.
Cause he with the ish, but he don't try to get into it. He like, yo, if I can stay out of it, don't put me in it.
Yo, he the
Once I'm in it,
blackest character in the whole shit because he like, yo, I'm Sorcerer Supreme. I know I got these responsibilities, and if I can move on without like getting too deep into y'all shit, I'm gonna do
right.
that.
And then he just when he got him out, he explained to the parole board that he broke him out to use
like
him,
a G,
and
like a G.
yeah, and he put him back. He let him come. He came back on his own. He even offered him he could go stay here or do whatever he wanted to do. And then after the parole board was done, they was like, well, you broke the law, so now you have to. He was like, nah, I gotta go.
Yo, that was the best.
That was it. I was like,
that was the best scene in the whole series so far. Nigga said, I'm a dip.
No. Yo, it was like, no. And this is what he does. The same way he was talking to Jennifer, the same way he do in the movies. It's like sometimes Wong will look you right in the face and he be already thinking what he thinking. He don't even hear what you saying. Like Jennifer was telling him this. She like, nah, don't do that. He like, yeah, all right, look, no.
Yeah, nah, I'm out.
This is what's going to happen. I know we just got to talk like this, but I'm Sorcerer Supreme. What you going to tell me?
Because he's a man of color in a position that would normally be afforded to a white man. And he can't look at it the same way. And he portrays that perfectly. He's like, nah, I can't be with all y'all shit. I got other nah, I ain't fucking with y'all like that. Nah. I'm just trying to do my job, bro.
Yeah.
I'm Sorcerer Supreme. I'm just trying not to get fired. Yo, y'all do y'all other shit over there. I'm over here. Stop playing.
Nah. Yeah, so they did that. I wanted to address, like I said, by now back to kind of a little bit of production stuff. The by now for me, like the fourth wall breaks, these were the worst fourth wall breaks out of the other episodes for me. Like these fourth wall breaks didn't.
It was one in here I dug. It was one in here I dug, and it was only because they did it like the Black Dynamite style. Sarcastically, I am that shit. But yeah, I think they gotta tighten up on that.
Man, these right here, it was like she just read the scene directions. I was like, what? That's not. But even
that's why it was funny. That's the shit that made Black Dynamite so funny because he was reading the stage directions. It was fucking hilarious. But Black Dynamite is such a spoof that you get it in the context of that. This is not that hard.
You're supposed to put something in there. Like this is
the problem. This is the problem. That was too deep cut of a joke. That was a joke that you got to be a drama nerd. The one you talking about, the one where they
it was. If I wrote that as a fourth wall break for one of our characters, you better slap me like, oh, tying the A story and the B story together, nice. Like what we totally. What are we doing?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You have to. That's such an obscure joke that it don't work because it's like 2% of the audience is going to catch that shit.
And now I remember the other fourth wall break now too. When she was driving the car in the beginning, she took her hands off the wheel and she was talking about how like it's gonna be cameos, but just remember this is my show. And I'm like, we know we coming to see She-Hulk and you don't even Hulk out, but all right, well, whatever. Just hating on your own show now. Damn, like, damn, like.
I mean, it was like. I thought that was like a little weird, but I mean,
it ain't like I said. It's not killing me. I'm just like
fourth wall stuff is touchy. Like you either gonna kill it or you gonna like half-ass it. But like here, they're like right in the middle because the character has to have that. I just think there just has to be a more linear. The thing about the way they write these series. It's probably one person per episode, and there's like pieces in from different places. Then they get notes from the network. And you need to change this, and you need to change that. It's just hard to have that continuity of even just a rhythm of how they write the jokes sometimes. So, like sometimes that shit fall flat because the person who's writing that episode is thinking of breaking the fourth wall in a different way than the person who wrote.
So this is kind of I think this is kind of the remedy that Marvel. They formula that they use a lot. You can, Downey Jr. do it. Like even with that part where she's like, oh, whatever that fourth wall break was, like, oh, A and B plot together, nice. Now she could have had like 4 or 5 takes of just saying something in character, and if it sounds better, we'll use that. And so they're saying that this was the best thing we got. I think that was just the first thing they wrote, and they just was like, nah, we going with it because we going to keep going. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, you can do it better. That's all I'm saying. I ain't even saying like, yeah. So, but okay. So now, in the episode, we didn't talk about the actual B plot, which was the jerk guy from her old firm was getting fleeced by this shape-shifting elf who made him believe that she was Megan Thee Stallion. So yeah, and he spent almost $200,000. Why you keep doing this to me, man? Yeah. Stop.
That's so dumb and funny, bro. Like I appreciated that because that was like dumb. That was funny. That was somebody sitting around doing what we say, which is just like looking at it and being like, "Oh, it would be funny as fuck if we showed the She-Hulk twerking." That's funny.
You know what? You know what would have been the and I was gonna wait. I was gonna wait until we got to that because that was the end credit joint. But what I would say is the way that they could have fixed it is to actually practically, because it was a close-up on a fake CI suit, get an actual woman in a gray suit. And if we would have saw it switch to a real woman's ass doing a twerk, we would have died. That would have been hilarious. I'd have been like, hold up.
But what's just as funny is that was really Tatiana doing the motion.
I know, but
that shit is funny, dog. That shit alone is funny as hell.
I don't know. Maybe I just saw a CGI suit. It just looked bad. Like, but so anyway, this is one thing I would like to say about, because everybody going to touch on like this, that, and the third about the misandry. This is what I was waiting for to happen to this guy character that was a jerk the whole time. Like, I'm like, yeah, well, what's the circle for it? Because now he had a purpose, you know what I'm saying? So I was waiting for that, you know what I'm saying? So that's kind of, like I said, that's not even a big deal anymore. I mean, it wasn't really
to call it misandry is to say that he's representative of all men. I don't feel like that. So I just thought he was the archetype of douchebag corporate white dudes, and they were stinging him, and it was a full circle shit with this, like you said, because like at least they gave it a purpose. Whatever attack they were on, they did give it a purpose, and I thought this was a funny punchline too.
But I want to address this real quick while we over here too. I sometimes I go through the other reviews real quick just to see what's going on, and just to get a baseline, people who liked it, people who didn't, all of that and everything. And like I said, right now it's crazy because even with this episode, like I said, this ain't as bad as the other two. It's getting better. We got 7 more to go, or 6 or whatever it is. We're gonna see 6. It. But what's killing me is like I see people putting a pedal on the gas harder, and I'm like, now you just on some bull, like. Because it wasn't like it's people that's like they not giving any credit to whatever the improvement was in the episode. Right. Number one. Right. And then number 2 is people in there where I'm seeing like now y'all just being ridiculous. I watched a couple of reviews. Dudes is like, well, they keep saying Megan Thee Stallion, like everybody's supposed to know who she is, and I'm like, bro, even if you didn't. And so now I'm just like, you just being a douche now. Now you just being an ass. So. And it's people that just, like I said, it's just people that just want to not give it credit. And you can't tell me you ain't heard or seen Megan Thee Stallion.
I'm saying she had a fucking Popeyes hot sauce. Like, come on, fam.
So a lot of people, I do feel like they just they want to dig this hole and they want to do that just to do that. But I just wanted to throw that out there real quick.
They want to put their agenda on some shit that don't make no sense.
I do notice people putting they foot on that gas just to be doing it. So. Yeah, so and we got a ways to go. So right now we just trying to be. I really want to be even like we been. Next scene real quick. She walking home after work. She going down the alley. I guess it's right next to her house, right?
Yeah.
And some dudes jump her and they have on construction stuff. So obviously we got to hit from the Wrecking Crew.
Wrecking Crew.
You know what I'm saying? Old comic book characters. They had a crowbar, a wrecking ball. What the other dude had a helmet, and another dude had. So they had 4 things, which was probably where this was when they was kind of could have gotten the pocket. When she said, "What did y'all do? Rob an Asgardian construction worker?" And they said, "Yeah." If they could keep doing stuff like that, You know what I'm saying? Just keep the plate warm like that. They'll be good. Yeah. But so anyway, they jump her.
That street side with that. So
yeah.
I appreciated that.
So they jump her. But obviously she's She-Hulk. She beats them up, but they just run and get away. Now, this is where I want to jump in on the editing. This whole episode, the editing was wild. I don't know if you noticed, but they was putting in lines that nobody was talking. They was flipping people off.
I noticed it most on that fight. That fight was just,
bro.
She reached
behind her. She reached behind her, and you saw her lift the guy, and then they just cut to the guy just falling into the other guy. I was like, oh, y'all ain't even showing.
I think it's just a little bit more indicative of how guerrilla style this shit is, and they just doing it kind of on the fly. And that's part of what bothers me when I'm like, yo, y'all spinning a gang. Y'all spinning a grip on this, and you can't choreograph it better.
Yeah.
And make it more legible on camera so that we see what's supposed to happen, because like all the money you spending on the CGI, why would you make some Bourne Identity shaky cam shit where you can't really see what's happening and you just gotta drop somebody in? And
that's what they did. They left it all up to the editor. The editor, he just did what I'm telling you. It was the editor did what he could, because like I said, even in other,
I was about to say the editor probably saved it, because if it was so ass that he couldn't show it, then
he totally did. Because even like I said, in other scenes, it's stuff where she has her back to the camera and you know she's not saying that line. So they had the ADR in something, because the editor probably was like, yo, this not working. Y'all get some ADR here. It was
I see that in a lot of stuff.
No, but I mean, it was obvious, bro.
But that speaks to the issue that is gonna end up plaguing it. And see, and this is, I go so far beyond the story when I talk about what is gonna end up being a problem with this whole massive multi-billion-dollar franchise. It's the fact that at some point the seams are gonna show y'all making this shit so fast. You don't have these scripts fully written. You don't have this shit fully plotted out. And by the time it's out and the date has passed, you have to pass off whatever's on the table. So you don't have enough time to do all of the fine tuning to make it what it needs to be. And that's what I think we're seeing in a lot of this stuff.
Just two more things real quick about the editing, real quick. And you're right, and exactly that's obviously those seams is starting to come apart. And one but like just an example, like it seems now like in the show where literally they are like, you can see the person's mouth. Like it's like when the Wendy Williams reporter asked her, did she almost get killed in a mafia hit? She says what, but she doesn't say anything. It's just her walking. Right. So they wanted that, and it's like they've been doing that. And then, like I said, it's the fight scene. Then there was some stuff earlier when she was in her office, but with the Megan Thee Stallion thing, that whole scene, it's the scene like it's, bro. Megan has her tongue out, and she's hunched over, and then in the next cut, she's sitting up, like looking at it, and it's still the same line going on. And I'm like, yo, somebody's wilding.
They took the best of like 3 shots.
Yes.
They only had Meg for an hour. You know what I'm saying? They only had it for 2-3 hours, and it was like, all right, this is the best I could do. And we got to put it out. Because it was only going to be this long. And see, that's the cheat code, man. The cheat code is that it's only going to be on screen for so little bit of time that they think they could get away with that shit. But then you got people who watch it. And
watching Megan Thee Stallion. I'm looking at Megan Thee Stallion, bro. I'm looking.
It don't make sense.
I noticed every time she changed. It was like Ray J's hat. It was like, I'm like, what's going on?
No, it's that favorite. It's my favorite low key example of that. Of in Demolition Man, where Wesley Jellicle eyes change because one's blue and one's hazel, and there's there's a couple points in the movie, and them shits totally switch eyes, and
somebody reversed. He probably reversed the film, but forgot that Wesley got different color eyes.
No, I mean either way, it's just like it's points in there where it's like, yo, this nigga's gotta his eyes are pitch black in real ass life,
right?
You wearing 2 separate. Colored contacts, and now them shit is like reversed, and it's like it's shit like that people like us can't help but to see. But
but that's what I'm saying. This is not even stuff that's hidden for us. This is like stuff that regular schmegulas is gonna be like, what the hell? So then we got that going on, and just one more thing, as far as we was talking about the choreography of that scene, like who runs up and jumps on She-Hulk's back, bro? And then she didn't immediately just change. Like,
right.
I mean, so I just wanted to just put that out there. That right there kind of, but like I said, and that's what made me pay more attention to the scene. And the last thing I think we could touch on before we get up out of here, and I think we're gonna have an episode covered, the whole blood theory thing that's going on. What you thinking about it?
It's some lazy shit, but you know, you go like they were gonna force feed it. I mean, the way they did the blood dripping into her and them setting up World War Hulk and whatever down the line. It's a cheap way to do it. They got so many plot twists and plot lines that they're trying to tie together that you know they can only give it so much. So they got to do something easy. So the blood is if the blood is that contaminated, then everybody can Hulk out, whatever. So you know,
Yeah,
I
how
don't
I
know if
feel.
I'm with it.
I don't like it.
I don't know if I'm with it just yet. I'll see how they make it work, but it's a little corny. It's a little easy, but we not dealing with them trying to build this shit for the next 30 years. They're gonna make it float to the next project, and then somebody's gonna undo it or whatever. So you know, it is what it is. But yeah, I think this episode was better than the last two, and I hope it keeps going upward in trajectory.
I agree. I'm not a big fan of this whole blood thing. I hope that they keep it to where it just works on banners or whatever, or
Yeah,
relatives. I hope that it stays in that realm
yeah,
if they're gonna
yeah,
do it. But
yeah.
you know, regardless, yeah, like you said, I agree with you. Much better episode. Yeah, we'll be back with another review when the next She-Hulk come out. Y'all know what it is. Dave, don't forget to do the likes and subscribes. What you want to tell them something before we get up out of here?
Man, I don't have nothing much except go to that damn link tree, and go get the merch. Go like and subscribe and follow and do whatever it is you need to do. And we're gonna be here giving you this content like that.
All the time. All right, we'll be back with y'all with something different probably next time. Y'all know, go check the old videos. We got some new stuff coming, interviews, some more reactions.
Go
And
follow JD Williams North Projects too, because we're gonna have things in different areas, and that's gonna be a hub for a lot of stuff. No Country's gonna be the hub, so just make sure y'all keeping up with everything.
Yeah, we're gonna put everything in the descriptions and stuff. So we'll get back with y'all again. Y'all know what it is. No Country, JD and Dave, and we out.
Peace.